Hi there, Cancer. I hope you guys are doing really well. This is a general reading for you for the second week of February 2025. In this reading, we're going to be covering Oracle energy. We've got family, community, your health energies, finances, career, relationships, relationship connections. This does not just have to be solely romantic. It can be the connections, friendships, however you want, with the people in your life that are deeper connected to you. And then what you don't see coming here. So let's get into it, Cancer. With fulfillment here as your oracle, this is asking you to basically, no matter what's going on in your life right now, it's asking for you to put attention towards what is good, what feels like it's in alignment, what feels like it's pleasurable, or even if you're like, I just need to like take a day for myself. Maybe that is going to a spa. Maybe that is just, I just need to read my book and drink my cup of tea and just be next to the window and listen to the birds and do my thing. Whatever it is in your life right now, Cancer, that is fulfilling to you, engage in it, be more present in it. And if you don't have things right now in your life that are feeling like they're fulfilling, emotionally satisfying, pleasurable, it's asking for you to be mindful to kind of thin that away and not attach yourself to it, because those types of situations just perpetuate more inconsistency, a lack of flow within your life. It's saying take the energy that you have and put it towards things that actually feel good. Okay. And it's also a very positive energy with health as well. It can talk about situations in health like feeling like they are being restored or turning back the ways that they've turning back to kind of like a factory reset is the kind of energy that's being presented here. Also, another message with fulfillment um, is being able to speak truly from your heart, because when we're not doing that, Cancer, it can actually block things off. It's like the censor. Like sometimes things need to be censored, but like if you can see where it's like by being able to communicate or extend what it is that you've been holding on to another person, it does fulfill an energy. It fulfills more than just an energy, but like it brings you to a different sense of clarity and peace because you're no longer holding on to that express. Okay. Family and community, you have the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups, I do want to say, is energetically exhausting. This can talk about situations where it's like we've tried so much, we've been involved so much, and there's something about a situation that is just not doing it for us. It's just out of harmony. It's out of, we've been doing it for so long, but it's not giving back to me. It's not giving what it needs to be giving. And so on the Eight of Cups, it says, I choose to step away from this so I can find different harmony, different sense of equilibrium, a different sense of self. I don't want to be part of this. And so for some of you, you may be walking away from a community. And it's interesting too, because at the bottom of this deck, for all of these, actually, I have it upright. You have the Six of Swords here. So this is about finding a different direction to go in as well. It's actively seeking out peace rather than disharmony or emotional like restriction and confusion where we're not getting our needs met. Some of you, this may be needing to step away from people that we have in our family, people that are not fulfilling and it's not emotionally satisfying. Sometimes this can feel like when we're losing that interest, it's even harder to step away because that requires a certain level of abandonment, right? For some of you, if you are unable to leave a community or unable to leave a relationship, a family connection, whatever it is, it's saying take a vacation, take some time away for yourself, be mindful to be available to what you need to recharge and refill your batteries, especially if you have to be in a situation that feels like it's exhausting and you want to run away from it, but you can't. Not even run away, you can't leave it. it's asking for you to take time for yourself. And so it's in alignment with this fulfillment energy. Do what you can to fulfill your needs, because the exterior of the situation or the people that you're dealing with are unfortunately not able to do that for you. This also can talk about like having a differences in opinions, values, belief systems. It can say, I just don't believe in that. I need to get away, you know? So just be mindful of that. In regard to your health energy, you have the Nine of Pentacles, which is actually a beautiful energy. It says, I take my health into my own hands. This says the choices that I make within my life directly benefit my physical being, okay? And with this being the Nine of Pentacles, yes, it does talk about the physical body, most definitely, but it also talks about financial abundance, financial health. This is you growing your own life in the way that you choose to do. This is a very self-sufficient energy, okay? So it's saying, you know, maybe we've sought out external validation, or maybe we have always kind of put our health or our well-being in the hands of others, when now it's saying, you know what, it might be good for you to do that for yourself. With the Nine of Pentacles also, it's a little different in this card, but there's still the bird. This is an owl here. She's over here. Usually in the Rider Waite, there's a woman with a bird and a falcon in her hand, you know, or I think it is. And her gaze is on that bird. So what that in the symbology behind that is, when you are single focused, and when you can put your focus on one thing, where you're not overwhelmed by everything, it's saying do that so you can have a better harvest, so you can have a better outcome, so you can feel secure within the direction and the decisions that you make in your life to affect your health. Either way, very positive, very positive. But for some of you, it's needing to do things on your own, or turn more inward, you know, and focus on what is necessary for change in your health. And I feel when you can focus and harness that energy, you're able to move forward in a really positive way in that regard, okay? With your finances, your career, you have a Lovers, which is great. The Lovers is an interesting energy for this, just because this, you know, um, it's like head and heart decisions, head over heart decisions. You know, it's your intellect versus your feelings. You know, this is also like, sometimes I had a friend, Autumn, and when I met Autumn, we worked together, and we hated each other. I'll be honest, we hated each other. Everything we did was different. There was a 50 plus year difference between us. She was the elder. Um, and we just had opposing opinions. I'm Pisces, she's Aries. Like, it was just like, that's wild. And we just were having headbutting all day long. And then all of a sudden, I got this little fish. I got a little, what are they called? Those little fighting fish, you know, where they just have to be by themselves. And so I goosed up I made his little enclosure, his little tank really pretty. And like, I put little background scene in it and whatever. And I would play him music. And I played him Muddy Waters. And she knew those songs. And like, we kind of started connecting on what we had in common. And after that, we became besties. And it was so strange in that way. It's like we kind of got past our differences. Here within this energy, it's like combining efforts. It's like the active combination of opposites starting to attract now. It's like we've been so opposite and in opposition with each other, but now it's like we're actually being able to attract with each other. We're being able to come together and like unify on the things that we can unify on. And maybe we can kind of resolve things through a different sense of like understanding or awareness, you know? Um, and so it's asking for you, especially in a work sense, to come together. You may be having this intention to come together here, and You know, be more of a unified front with somebody. Could be a boss, could be a coworker, however it is. This can also talk about loving what you do, you know, especially if you are a entrepreneur. This is loving what you do, you know. This is also requiring sometimes to take risks when it comes to, you know, okay, I want to be sensible. I want to be like, you know, very secure in my decision. So I'm not going to make a risk. Well, this is asking you to take a risk. It's asking for you to be available to transform what has been to what is new and what you can be in alignment better with. Um, I'm going to say this because it's right next to the Nine of Wands, which is in your relationship connections. Sometimes Cancer, this lover's energy, it requires us to be mindful on how we view connections and how we are guarded towards these connections. Sometimes it says, you know, I want to go with what is seen as respectable. I want to go with what other people see as okay. I want to be not shunned for my decisions. I want people on the exterior to validate my choices. But then on an internal energy, especially with fulfillment, it's saying what I want might not be seen as respectable. What I might want might not be seen as um, proper or morally like in alignment with religion or family. And it's saying, you know what? Walk away from that energy because you are the one that needs to be satisfied. You're the one that needs to feel at ease within yourself. You're the one that needs to be able to open up in a full way. And if what you've been doing closes on any doors in regard to living your life in a full way, it's saying stop it, separate yourself from that, step away from that, be conscious of what is inside of yourself, begging for change. You know, but you're not doing it because what would society think? What would my mom and my dad think? What would the church think? You know, you have to be the one to take the risk, because when you take that risk and you take your future into your hands rather than being spoon fed everything, you change the direction. You do it on your own. Okay. So, very positive energy there. It's challenging, but it's positive. In your relationships, in your connections, personal connections, you do have the Nine of Wands, which is a little bit of a challenge. It's a little bit of a challenge. It's saying, you know, I'm kind of like defensive about a connection or the idea of even trying to go out and date again. You know, maybe I've received wisdom from my experience in the past with people, you know, but it's like, I don't know if I have the energy or the strength or the persistence to keep doing this. And so it's kind of like with the Nine of Wands being a little bit held back or postponing or like a lack of anticipation, wanting to like introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself into situations. Okay, so if you're single, you might be like, oh, I just don't know if I can deal with this again. I'm concerned that like, what if I don't meet my fulfillment? What if I'm, you know, this and that? Well, there's a lot of energy that goes in association with that. Like, what have you learned? Right? What have you learned that isn't fulfilling? What have you learned that you've been contributing to relationships that leads to a lack of fulfillment or a lack of clarity? Again, this is emotional, Eight of Cups. You're the one that feels your emotions, Cancer, right? Nobody else can feel your emotions. So it's saying pay attention to what feels like you're running away from, and maybe you need to assess that. Maybe you need to gain some wisdom from what you've run away from. Why? What was the reason? Why? Where is it coming from? Is it to protect yourself? Is it out of fear? Is it because you're afraid of what people think? There's all of these other elements that affect how you make decisions and affect how you openly engage with other people. So learn from your experiences and don't be afraid to be active in how you reintegrate into your life, especially, you know, with new people. Don't go in with suspicion and everybody's going to treat me like crap. You know, don't anticipate negativity. Be a blank slate. Learn from what you experience, but move forward, you know, and do so with situations that are fulfilling. Again, I kind of want to like go here. Sometimes it requires you to take a risk, especially, oh, I think we're in a retrograde now, right? Are we in Venus retrograde? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not an astrologer. I'm learning. But, and I should have probably checked before doing this video, but with retrograde energies, it can bring people into our lives. But I feel like with this one, it's really saying, what is fulfilling? What is truly fulfilling? Have I walked away from fulfillment out of fear, out of duty to the imposed restrictions of others? Am I kind of like, am I a pawn in their game? Like, or have I walked away from situations and like felt like a victim? Here it's saying, don't feel like a victim. Learn from your lessons, be brave, address, assess, and engage. You'll be okay. But for some of you, it requires you to take risks and open yourself up. For those of you in relationships that are already established, connections that are long lasting, marriages, partnerships, this can talk about you having very differing opinions with your partner, almost being at odds with a partner, where it's like we are butting heads. We have very different perspectives. Our values are kind of different as well. And so it's saying, I'm going to protect myself. I don't believe what my partner believes, or I don't like this direction we're going. It's saying, you still have to be engaged in it, but like if you can communicate, please do, because you have all of this energy of like, walking away, or like it just feels like I'm going to protect my decision and my needs and my rights, which is good, you should, but it's almost like the flavor that I'm getting is grandstanding, like if it doesn't go my way then I'm walking away, screw you. Like, be mindful of that. What you don't see coming here, you have the 8 of Wands, and I'm tying this into this because it's in reverse. If you're having a fight with a partner, if you're having a difference of opinion, or like if it's just not in alignment, it feels like we're using silence as a punishment with the 8 of Wands in reverse. This is all about communication and forward direction. Here, it's like a standstill, it's like a pause, right? And so with the 8 of Wands in reverse, it's just like you need to be the one to communicate. Sometimes a pause is good. Sometimes it's important to like, be mindful of how we've been treated or experienced things. But with the 8 of Wands in reverse, it's saying, if we don't communicate, we're heading into problems. Our emotions are all out of whack, and we're actually making decisions based upon being unfulfilled, which is usually an indicative reason to step away from something altogether. But if you're in a partnership, an existing marriage, whatever it is, like you have to reconcile differences and be available to situations that, maybe we need therapy, maybe we need to have like a mediator, maybe we need to have some sort of connection or reconnection. Sometimes it's like, okay, let's take a minute, let's take a pause. Either way, though, it can talk about like needing to be very clear in how you re-engage with a partner, how you recreate a safe space with them. Okay. Also, aside from that, just on its own, the 8 of Wands in reverse for what you don't see coming. This can talk about sometimes jealousy, external jealousy from people. It can talk about like, again, kind of like emotions being out of whack, emotions being misleading. With the 8 of Wands in reverse, it can also talk about like, when you're infatuated with somebody for a moment and then like you fall out of infatuation. I don't even want to call it love because it's not, but you like fall out of it very quickly. It's like, wasn't real anyway. Yeah, it's a slowing down of effort. The Wands are actions cards. They require action. Here, it's slowing down. There's no action. It's almost like slowing down to walk away. I'm seeing like the infinity symbol here. especially if it's unfulfilling. So just be mindful, Cancer. It feels like you're really kind of in this week or this time frame, it feels like you guys are really kind of like getting your head on some really big, getting your head around some really big issues that are presented in your life. And the goal is to be in harmony and in peace with that within yourself, but also to create peace and harmony with other people, to create a sense of peace and space and fine tuning that so it can be harmonious. Um, yeah, but also some of you may have to step away from things just because it's just there's a nature here where it's just like so much, and then I just have to be free. I have to help myself be okay. So head or heart decisions are big. Take a risk. Do it for your fulfillment, okay? I love you guys. I hope that this is helpful. Contact me if you want a personal reading. All my info is in the description box below. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Talk to you later. Bye.